Yes, our PTZ cameras have wipers on them, and they work. Happy Wednesday, 22nd day of April 2026. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's been raining. It's been raining since about 1:30. We have already set a record today for rainfall. For April 22nd, the record was about 1/4 of an inch back in like 1960. I don't remember 1960. I wasn't alive. We've already had over 1/3 of an inch of rain. Could get up to a 1/2 an inch of rain by the time this is over. We'll eventually dry out as the day progresses, and will be sunshine and windy today. It's almost like, you know, tomorrow is the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. It's like Mother Nature said, okay, the day before the Apple Blossom Festival, we're going to take all of north central Washington and run it through the car wash. We're going to dump a bunch of rain on you, and then we're going to dry you off with some wind, and then you'll be all nice and clean and sparkly for our 107th edition of our big party. That's what I call it. So a little bit of everything weather-wise. We'll get that out of the way first thing, because there's a lot to talk about, a lot of news to get to, a lot of sports to get to. Highlights of the Mariners and highlights of the Eastmont Wildcats. Guess who won and guess who lost by my facial expressions. We'll have that in sports, and in the back half of the program, part 2 of my 2-part interview with the folks at the Wenatchee School District. You know that they're going to float a $295 million bond, give or take a couple million, coming up this November, so they can build a new Wenatchee High School, which I think is desperately needed, and they need to fix the HVAC in a number of other schools. Kory Kalahar, the superintendent, will join me again, and he brought along Stephen Clark from Integris. Integris is the firm that was brought in to get all the input from all the stakeholders to find out what exactly we would want in a new high school, and by stakeholders, that means everybody. We'll have that in the back half of the program. Let's take our tour on this rainy morning. Yeah, it's been raining since about 1:30, but it hasn't been real windy, but it will be. That's coming. We did the Eastmont Sunnyside soccer game last night. It was pretty blustery at Wildcat Stadium, but we still have a wind advisory. It continues until 11 o'clock tonight. Stein Hill, looking out over Cashmere. You can see the fairgrounds and the golf course, plain as day there, looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley. Today is a milestone for sunrises and sunsets. Sunrise this morning was at 5:59. Sunset tonight, 8 o'clock sharp. We go over the 14-hour mark, 14 hours and 1 minute of daylight. Somewhere out there is Lake Chelan. Apparently the McNeil Canyon camera does not have a wiper on it. That is McNeil Canyon looking over the ridge towards Lake Chelan, which you can't see. But Billy Goat, let's see what Billy Goat has for us. There's Billy Goat. Good morning, Tenasket. You're down there. Everybody's getting rain for the most part. Also kind of misty too. Everybody's getting wet. Everybody is mild. We're at 50 degrees. Your precipitation amounts until the end of the day tomorrow, basically. That's what we're looking at. So we could get up to a 1/2 an inch of rain here in the Wenatchee Valley. Again, we've already set a record. We've already had well over 1/3 of an inch of rain already, because it started raining at 1:30 this morning, and it really hasn't stopped. As far as wind is concerned, we still have the wind advisory. That is still going on until 11 o'clock tonight. The windiest will be later on this afternoon. The winds will peak at about 7 o'clock tonight. It'll still be breezy overnight tonight into Thursday about midday before the winds die down. This is the very last of the system. Will be exiting our area overnight tonight into the early morning hours of Thursday. So then after that, conditions dry out, and we'll have lots of sunshine. In fact, as far as the first weekend of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, can't ask for anything better than this. Again, today, a little bit of everything. Rain and clouds until about noon, and then sun will be out. And by the end of the day, we'll have lots of sunshine, but we're going to have lots of wind, and 15 degrees cooler for our afternoon high. We had 78 on Tuesday. We're going to get to 63. That's it today. It's going to be windy pretty much all day today, especially this afternoon into the early evening hours. Cleared tonight, 42 for the overnight low, right around the normal mark there. Still windy tonight, but the winds will be dying down after midnight. Just a little bit of residual wind on Thursday. Lots of sunshine. High of 63. That's just about a degree or so cooler than normal, but I got no complaints. That's a good one. Friday, a little bit cooler, 61, because we'll still have a little bit of cold air. So we're going to take a little while to get warmed up on Friday, but I like that. Tenaplex Youth Parade is on Saturday. How about sunshine and 63? Can you handle that? How about sunshine and 63 on Sunday for Pepsi-Cola Youth Day at the park? And then we warm up to 67 and 71. I likes that. I likes it a lot. Your forecast brought to you by our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. It's where comfort, care, and community come together. Also coming together, the news in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
When life gets stressful, reaching for a vape might seem like a quick fix, but vaping can actually make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. Each time you vape, nicotine tricks your brain into feeling rewarded. And the more you vape, the more nicotine receptors your brain creates. Over time, your body needs more and more nicotine to feel good. And when you can't get enough, you can experience withdrawal symptoms like anxiety, mood swings, and depression. Learn more at chooseyouwa.org.
Click RV Moses Lake Superstore has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you liked and build it, price it, and click it. Or come to the Moses Lake Superstore. From travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge RV discount prices are here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee only at Click It RV Moses Lake or ClickItRV.com.
Be a winner like me and get to Click It RV.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Rain is beginning to taper off a little bit. It was raining pretty hard earlier today, but we still got some rain. It'll then be sunny and windy this afternoon. Pretty chilly, all things considered, but starting tomorrow, we're in for a beautiful stretch of weather for the Apple Blossom Festival. It's 8 minutes after the hour. The State Department of Financial Institutions has ordered several Wenatchee investment companies headed by Equilus Capital Partners to pay a fine and cease their investment and brokerage activities. The agency says Equilus and its partner groups offered and sold more than $39 million worth of interests in real estate funds from April of 2017 to October of last year. The state found that these entities, and I'm quoting now, misappropriated fund money, made Ponzi-like payments to investors, created false account statements, made material misrepresentations to investors, close quote, and committed other violations. Equilus was founded in 2017 by founding partner Joel Frank. The state says Frank improperly spent nearly $780,000 of investment funds on his own expenses over a period of 4 years, including car purchases, garage construction, and the purchase of a boat slip. The Equilus Group may be ordered to pay a fine of $1 million as well as other costs, fees, and expenses, no less than $194,000 pending a final determination from the Department of Financial Institutions. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is encouraging people in our local trails to, well, be smart, plan in advance after the agency responded to 2 incidents at popular hiking spots on Sunday. The Sheriff's Office first assisted a group of hikers on Sour Mountain Trail. That's after a visitor sustained a serious knee laceration. A deputy provided first aid on a nearby Forest Service road, coordinated with fire personnel for safe transport, and then the agency says the person is expected to recover after medical treatment. And then on Sunday evening, another deputy responded to a lost hiking party with adults and children near Kolchak Lake. They texted 911 and navigated the terrain at night using location data. The agency said it took several hours to find the group, who were eventually guided to safety. The sheriff's office reminds trail visitors to carry sufficient supplies, plan for changing conditions, and allow for adequate time to get where you're going and get back. A convenient new way to get firewood from the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest is launching next week. Instead of having to go to the Forest Service's office, you can now go to the Forest Service's website and get an e-permit. It's a new system. It launches on May 1st. A permit, of course, is required to obtain firewood from the forest, and it allows cutting of firewood within select areas. Traditional firewood permits still going to be available at your local Forest Service office on May 1st. For this year, they will transition to fully online permits in 2027. State representatives for the 12th District, Mike Steele and Brian Burnett, they hosted a town hall Monday discussing the results of the latest legislative session. Monday's event at the Wenatchee Valley College's Grove Recital Hall was sparsely attended. The biggest topic of this year's session was the adoption of the millionaire's tax. That levies a 9.9% tax on household annual income above $1 million. Steele said he'd like to have more meaningful conversations with Democratic colleagues about the government's current path on taxes and spending. Burnett spoke of making hard choices as a politician by voting no on the appropriations, where he had previously voted yes on valuable services for those in need. Senator Keith Gaynor was scheduled to be at Monday's town hall. He was not present. Legislative staff said he is resting after experiencing a medical problem. The Wenatchee Area Geological Society has moved into the former Valley Academy building. It'll remain there for the next couple of years. The library has lived in the Wenatchee Valley Museum's annex since 1979. It's run by a group of volunteers from the Wenatchee Area Genealogical Society. Well, last June, the group issued a public plea to help them find a new home. Of course, the museum is undergoing significant renovations. So they moved 186 boxes of books were moved to the former school building, as well as the library's bookcases, desks, files, and more. I'm getting a hernia just reading this. Once settled, the group is planning an open house to show the community its new space. Geothermal energy could soon be developed in our area. The Chelan, Douglas, and Grant County PUDs thinking about partnering up to explore geothermal energy after a recent study from an energy consulting firm predicted an energy shortage by the year 2030. The shortage is projected to reach about 5 gigawatts in Washington and Oregon. Higher deficits expected across the broader Northwest, including Idaho and Montana. Geothermal energy is steam produced when hot water from the earth reaches the surface of the earth. If it's approved, the $22 million project would include geophysical surveys and subsurface research. The goal is to figure out whether it can actually work where we live. Utility leaders say the effort would lead the three districts to share the costs and better understand the potential as a group. And Wenatchee High School wants you to come inside and take a look-see. The Wenatchee School District is currently proposing a $295 million bond that would build a brand new high school and address the failing HVAC systems in 7 other schools. Earlier this month, interested stakeholders paid the high school a visit so they could learn more about the issues with the building. And this Sunday, you can go again. You can receive a tour led by students. You can have your questions answered by the design team and give input. I had a chance to sit down with Superintendent Kory Kalahar and the president of the school board, Tucker Jackson, to review the issues and hear how the district is engaging with the community. Here in the library of Wenatchee High School, the 54-year-old Wenatchee High School, which replaced the 60-year-old Wenatchee High School. So you do the math. The old Wenatchee High School opened in 1910, closed in 1972. The high school we're in now opened in 1972. It's still open 54 years later. The taxpayers of the Wenatchee School District got 2 high schools for 116 years. Pretty good deal, but it's time for high school number 3. The most essential need is the guts of the joint. Yeah. It's falling apart. The stuff that people don't see. People drive by Wenatchee High School, they say, it looks fine to me. Yeah. Or they go to, for the public, just the general public, their interaction with the high school being in the campus, in the building, is either the auditorium to see a performance, in the athletic facilities, in the gym to see volleyball or basketball or whatever, or maybe in the commons for like when the Golden Apple Marching Band does their big fundraiser every year around the holidays, and all they can see is high school looks fine to me.
Yeah.
It's not. The cosmetic stuff may look fine, but that's not the problem, is it? Kory?
Absolutely. No, it's not the problem at all. I mean, we're talking about all of the HVAC equipment, which I do think that our community is aware of and knows and understands. And we're getting to that season right now as we start getting a little bit warmer. It's a little bit starting to get warm outside. I'll say that again. And we think about turning on the air conditioning, and we're wondering which 2 or 3 compressors are not going to work this year. And got a team that maintains everything really well, but it's just end of life. And a lot of the parts are hard to find, and our team ends up fabricating things, or we have to end up buying entire new compressors for the work. And that's not even talking about the plumbing that is embedded and encased in concrete throughout the building, and all the wiring that is in different phases of cinder block and brick high school. It's just really challenging to remodel a building this old.
It's not easy for a student to come home and say, boy, class was great today, except it was 85 degrees and I could hear everybody in the classroom next door, which is a daily occurrence around here, isn't it, Tucker?
Yeah, for sure. And, we're starting to see that happening in the middle schools and the elementary schools as well. Yeah. So, the other reminder to the community is that this isn't just a new high school. This is also new HVAC systems at all 3 middle schools and 4 of the elementary schools.
Absolutely.
So, we're trying to address that problem across the district.
At least those schools have been, for the most part, retrofitted. You were kind of, and we'll talk to our friends at Intergress here in a little bit in the second part of this interview, because of what you mentioned, like the plumbing, for instance. Yeah. There's only so much fixing you can do because the way it was originally, the conduits were run and stuff like that. You're trying to heat and air condition a building that's 12 acres in size.
Yeah.
It's
massive.
I don't care how good it is. It's eventually going to wear out.
Absolutely.
And this is the built. There's only so much fixing you can do.
Absolutely. And the point that comes to my mind when you say that is the type of heat that we dealt with in the Wenatchee Valley in the 70s is very different than the type of heat that we feel and experience now in 2026 and 27. We also know that the wildfire smoke is a lot different as well, and that hit us hard in the fall, where myself and Eric Anderson are in here putting together fans with filters taped to them from the health district last year. And we had them lined up in every hallway, and we were able to mitigate the smoke so we can keep students at school and make sure that the school is safe. But it was a challenge, and it was a nightmare to do.
But all of this can be addressed with the new high school, and most importantly, a clean slate.
Yeah.
Which was one of the things that made this school such a groundbreaking campus and school back in the early 1970s. When it was built, it was like state-of-the-art everything because they had a clean slate to start with. Yep. Now you get a clean slate to start with. You brought in some professionals, and the most important thing is the community stakeholders, which is everybody. Yep. Who's kidding who, whether you have a kid who goes here or not, you're a stakeholder. Everybody gets a say in what they want to see.
Absolutely.
And how they want it done.
And that's kind of where we are right now, Dan. We're in that community engagement piece. We spent 15 months and 9 meetings with our long-range facilities planning committee, which President Jackson was on. We were appreciative of his time. And that team really decided that the difference between building new and a deep remodel were roughly the same cost. And we have this real estate that is available. Why don't we start with that clean slate? Why don't we start new and give our students a true 21st century learning experience? And now we're in that community engagement piece where we want to hear everyone's voice. Everyone's voice is important. Last night we had an open house. It was a great event, and we had people there that were in favor of moving forward with the new high school, and some folks that wanted to learn more. And I really appreciated, they thanked us for hosting it, and they said, I don't feel like I can truly speak to it until I learn what I need to know about the building. And that was a fantastic message.
Sunday, by the way, April 26th, from 2 to 4 is going to be another open house. Just show up and see some of the stuff that you and the general public probably aren't privy to be seeing, because this is the stuff that you need to see to understand the need. And the need is urgent. What if this doesn't pass on November 3rd? What do you just, okay, well, here we go again. Lance, come back to work. We got to fix the air.
Right.
I mean,
right.
What do we do?
Well, I think the most immediate action from the school district is we would take all the feedback that we had garnered from the campaign that will really ramp up in the fall, and then we need to come back out to our voters with maybe a slightly modified package. But we need to do that quickly, and we have to make sure that we continue to listen to the community and do what's right by them.
And again, in the back half of this very program that you're watching, Kory joined me with Stephen Clark from the firm that was brought in to help expedite this whole thing. That interview will come up in just a few minutes, and that's the news on this Wednesday. Tune in at 5 o'clock tonight if you can't do that. Tune in at 6 o'clock tonight if you can't do that. Tune in at 10 o'clock tonight. And if you can't do that, go to YouTube. Right around 5 o'clock, our news will be sitting there waiting for you to find out what the heck is going on around here. Our email address is news@ncwlife.com. Mariners, yeah. Eastmont Wildcat Soccer, sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Sports at 22 minutes after the hour. Shea Langoliers hit a second homer in 2 nights. Jeff McNeil went deep. And the Athletics won their 7th straight road game, and they did so at the expense of the Mariners. 5-2 was the final last night. The Mariners lost for the 6th time in 8 games, and they now are in 4th place, 3.5 games behind the first place Athletics.
Swings and misses over his career.
Tyler Soderstrom into right field, and Kuntz is going to come home. The A's have scored in the first inning here as Soderstrom stretches to second.
Now back that way. Ref Snyder is ready. Geloff, the second baseman in center, will throw into second base. Josh Naylor at sacrifice fly.
60 pitches for Castillo. Here comes 61. Swung on and a drive out to right field. This ball's going back, and Jeff McNeil has a homer as an A. Athletics up 2-1. And a ground ball, it'll sneak past a diving Rivas into left field. Soderstrom coming home, and Jacob Wilson has driven in the go-ahead run. 11 home runs off of him to center field. Julio back. He's going to give up on it. Langoliers launches. Home run number 8 for Shea. It's 4-2 A's.
And Shea Langoliers all over it.
Here's the 1-1. This is in the air, out towards right field. It's going to bounce down. Kuntz coming home. Insurance added. Jacob Wilson does the job. An RBI single. It's 5-2. Here's the 1-2. Raylia swing and a miss. Perkins gets the job done through the 8th and the 9th. A 5-2 victory for the Athletics here in Game 2. They win a series over the Seattle Mariners. And that is now 7 consecutive road wins for the boys in green and gold.
Athletics go for the sweep this afternoon. Good seats still available. Logan Gilbert will toe the rubber for Seattle. First pitch this afternoon is at 1:10. Scoreboard of the American League West. The winners, the Athletics and the Rangers. The Astros lost to the Guardians, and the Angels lost to the Blue Jays. Well, the Sunnyside Grizzlies scored 2 goals early in the first half, and that served as a kind of a wake-up call for the Eastmont Wildcat boys soccer team, because then they scored the next 7, and they rolled to a 7-2 rout in prep soccer last night at Wildcat Stadium. Aaron Leon netted a hat trick. Angel Ortega added a brace. My good buddy John Connor and Daryl Geddes had the call right here on the NCW Life channel.
Free kick for the Eastmont Wildcats. Down near the 18. Ball bounces around. Nice one-timer.
And there
Look
goes
at
that man.
There goes that man. That Aaron Leone with a nice timed one-timer off the post and in for the Eastmont Wildcats. Count it now, 3 guys in the box for Eastmont. Throw in nicely. It's a through ball. Oh, nice run!
That was a nice dummy by number 10, Aaron Leone. When he moved to the ball, 2 guys went with him, left it. Angel Ortega, number 9, running onto a nice left-footed shot to the left side of the box.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Nice shot ball. Look at that! Aaron Leone with a goal for Eastmont.
And that's why you can't give him a foot.
It puts the Wildcats up 3-2 in the 48th minute of play.
You literally cannot give him a foot because he got it on his right foot, and there you go. Backside of the net.
Call
that easy.
That's the second goal. He got a goal in the 12th minute. Now the 40th minute. Aaron Leone heading to CLU.
Yep.
Puts the Wildcats up 3-2 here in the 49th minute of play here at Eastmont Stadium. Sunnyside with possession. Taken away. Here comes the Wildcats. Angel to Aaron with a right shot. That goes in. He's got his hat trick for the Eastmont Wildcats. Aaron Leone with his 3rd goal of the night in the 60th minute of play puts Eastmont up 4-2. Keeps possession with 2 players. And a nice shot that's blocked.
That's your guy, Coden Flynn.
Coden Flynn, that was a good possession. Oh, with a shot!
I don't know who hit
Look at that!
That is number 3, Giancarlo Cordero with the left-footed flick to the back post.
Beautiful goal here in the 70th minute of play, putting the Eastmont Wildcats up 5-2.
That looked like they came off 2 players, but the way Giancarlo Cordero's celebrating right now.
That was a great goal to see.
It was.
There. Goodness sakes alive. 73rd minute of play. 7 minutes to go left in this match. Oh, Angel with a shot and a goal for Eastmont.
And that's going to be a good night for Sunnyside. Number 9, Angel Ortega, left-footed rocket to the back of the net.
That goal came in the 74th minute of play. That's his 2nd goal of the night. A brace for Angel Ortega.
That would be great for his confidence.
Shot on goal once again. Another good save.
Another one.
Another good save, but not for the foot of another Eastmont player. Who got that goal?
I think that's Coden Flynn, number 17. They got to score 1 of these out of the 7 they just had point blank here.
So with that victory, by the way, Eastmont improves to 6-2 in league play. They'll take on first place Davis next Tuesday. That'll be good. There are your rest of your scores from the pitch yesterday in boys soccer. Prep baseball scoreboard. I had to rub my eyes to look at some of these scores. Those aren't misprints, folks. Those were final scores from baseball yesterday around our area. And the prep softball scoreboard is even stranger. More football scores than softball scores in the world of sports. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy National Jelly Bean Day today. Over 16 billion jelly beans are made every year just for Easter. And probably another 16 billion just for the heck of it. There are 8 core jelly bean flavors, and after that, you're on your own. And by the way, the most popular jelly bean in the U.S. is cherry, most popular flavor. I used to get my jelly beans at Shopko. I went there the other day to get the Jelly Bellies, and that Shopko closed like 20 years ago, so I don't know where to get my jelly beans anymore. It's 28 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 12 noon, April 22nd, 1889. Go get them, folks. The Great Land Rush of 1889, a whole bunch of free land. Lots of it. Go get it. An estimated 50,000 people lined up to get the available 2 million acres in the Oklahoma Panhandle. Of course, those people who jumped the gun in the middle of the night got to be known as Sooners. They claimed the best stuff. And of course, it was considered a pretty good deal. It was just free. All you had to do was work it. And he got to keep it, of course, for the Choctaw and the Cherokee and the Creek and the Chickasaw and the Seminoles. They had to move again. They had to move them the first time. Said, oh, sorry, we're taking your land too. That was on the state in 1889. Happy Earth Day, the 56th anniversary of Earth Day. The very first Earth Day was held on this date in 1970. It's now observed in almost every country on the planet. 192 countries observe Earth Day, and it is today because it's the only planet we got. 49 years ago today, on this date in 1977, the day before, the Yankees snapped a 5-game losing streak. after Billy Martin randomly pulled 9 names out of the hat. He literally drew the lineup from a hat, so we figured, hey, it stopped our losing streak. Let's do it again. So the very next day, in 1977, on this day, again, Billy Martin just pulled his lineup out of a hat, and it worked. They beat the Blue Jays 8-6. And speaking of baseball, I remember listening to this game up at our cabin at Lake Wenatchee. It was a Thursday night. Chris Bosio pitches a no-hitter. The Mariners beat the Red Sox 7-0, and here's how it ended.
2-1 pitch, ground ball over the middle, charged by Vizquel, bare hands and a no-hitter.
The amazing feat about that no-hitter is that Chris Bosio actually walked the first 2 Red Sox batters he faced, and then he retired the next 27 in a row. That was on this date in 1993. Heavenly birthdays, not too sure about this guy. At the end of the 20th century, they did a poll of all the people who knows these things, historians and what have you, and they asked them to name the single most influential figure of the 20th century. Now, I would think Churchill, FDR, John Paul II, maybe even bad guys like Hitler, but far and away, it wasn't even close. It was Vladimir Lenin, who was born on this date in 1870. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense. I mean, Karl Marx came up with the idea, the theory of communism, but it was Vladimir Lenin who actually put it into practical use, the most influential figure of the 20th century, Vladimir Lenin, born in the state in 1870. The greatest bassist in jazz history and a fantastic composer, too. 2 records you must have in his collection and play them. Mingus Ahum, which is fantastic, and New Tijuana Moods, which is even better. The legendary Charles Mingus, greatest bassist in jazz history, born in the state in 1922. Glenn Campbell, the 7th son of a 7th son. Great guitarist, I might add, and had 80 different songs, 80 different songs on either the Billboard Country Chart, the Billboard Hot 100, or the Billboard Adult Contemporary Chart. 2 living legends. What else do you have to say about Jack Nicholson? 3 Academy Awards, 2 for Best Actor, 1 Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and As Good as It Gets, and of course Best Supporting Actor for Terms of Endearment. Jack is retired now. Don't look for a new Nicholson movie. He's 89 years old today. And Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch is 40 years old today. Happy birthday to Marshawn. I'll have some Skittles in your honor. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. There's their new logo, but everything else that made Alpine Air such a great business around here, like their professionalism, that hasn't changed at all. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. Mike Benatti's got an opinion. And in part 2 of my interview with Kory Kalahar, the superintendent of the Wenatchee School District, and Stephen Clark, whose firm has been retained to help gather all the information to see what we do with the new Wenatchee High School, if in fact the bond passes. That conversation is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I did an opinion piece here that was played on Wake Up Wenatchee, Dan Kuntz's show, that criticized ads for investment opportunities. And I mentioned that what I felt was the nonsense of running such an ad on the local radio station, KPQ. Now, Rosie, my wife, heard this, and she said, "Oh, you're going to get in trouble." And I said, "With who, KPQ?" I said, "What's KPQ going to do? They're going to send Dave Bernstein to come beat me up?" Hey, Rosie laughed, and I laughed, and that was the end of it. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion. I mean, I think that's the end of it. You don't think they'll really do that, do you?
High school sports is back. Join us all spring for live coverage of Wenatchee and Eastmont soccer, baseball, and softball. Brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Coverage also sponsored by Global Car Care, the Hollander Golf and Grill, Apple Valley Honda, Sangster Motors, Valley Tractor, Save Mart, Caldwell Banker, Biosports Physical Therapy, and Dick's Heating and Air. Your home for high school sports, as always, is the NCW Life Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life Channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
We are back with part 2 of our conversation as the folks at the Wenatchee School District and a lot of concerned people are trying to get a new Wenatchee High School built. It's one thing to beat up the drum of support and enthusiasm. It's another thing to get into the nitty-gritty, and this is where Kory Kalahar brought in some professionals who really understand how these things are done.
Yep.
It's one thing to tell people what you want to do. This isn't like you're building a house.
Yeah.
You're building a school. Introduce your friend to us, please.
This is my friend Stephen Clark from Integris, and they are the architectural firm that is helping us with community engagement right now and listening to our community to really understand what the community wants in another Wenatchee High School and the hub of our community. And so it's really important, and we're excited to have them partner with us.
I'm assuming one of the first things you did is look around this place. See, this is the existing structure. What struck out at you the first time you walked through the hallways of this 54-year-old school?
There's some very interesting things here that were probably very innovative when this building was built, and I can see there's some good bones to parts of the building. Very interesting, really wide corridors that do allow for students to move, but they're still really tight in just the way that the building flows, and some challenges. Being here and passing, it's a struggle for kids to get where they need to be with the amount of time that they have to do it. And then from that, I've been in the mechanical spaces, we've been in all the dark holes, and it's definitely time. We're past due for a lot of those pieces of equipment. And I do want to say, working with the students and staff so far, the programs that are being delivered here are amazing. They're doing a lot with what they have. And we sort of, as we had these conversations, learned to describe, there's the Wenatchee way. And the Wenatchee way is to make do and get it done. And we toured a bunch of schools with some of the staff over on the west side, new schools that have opened in the last 5 to 10 years. And they don't have anything in terms of programs that Wenatchee doesn't have. And so credit to Wenatchee for being able to deliver amazing work, but our job really is to remove barriers to that delivery of education. And this building works against the staff and the students in so many ways in terms of just those the spaces and how tight they are, smaller classrooms that are too close together that don't have that sound separation. CTE programs that didn't exist when you went to high school that are trying to be delivered in the same types of spaces that don't provide the technical support, the power. The CTE program would love to add more programs, but there's literally not enough electricity coming to this building to do that. And so those are the things that just jump out at me as sort of the challenges that we need to overcome with the new facility here.
Outside of the Commons area, which was expanded a number of years ago, and the auxiliary gym put in a number of years ago, the school is essentially the same square footage as it was in 1972. It really hasn't gotten much bigger.
It hasn't, and you and I both remember when we were here in school in the 80s and 90s that there was a lot of open spaces around the classrooms, and those open spaces have now been closed to create more classroom space as Wenatchee High School grew from 10th grade to 12th grade to 9th grade to 12th grade, and then our population grew and got as big as we were able to get in 15-16 with almost 2,300 students. They had to just create space out of nowhere, and that's where the portables came in too. So we still have 12 portables out in the back 9, and that's an unfortunate reality.
Portables, if there's one portable, that means your school is overcrowded, and getting from class to class is an issue now.
It really is.
Right now, and all of these things can be addressed with a brand new high school. And you take all of these things into consideration, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. All of those components. The original high school was actually designed for capacity of 1,200 students. So at one point they were nearly double that capacity, and it's come back down a little bit, but still way more students than should be in this space right now. So yeah, absolutely take into all those considerations. Starting with what we call the education specifications, which take all the staff and the needs they have for the programs that they need to deliver, and we come up with the square footage that is required to do that effectively in a way that meets current standards. And that's our starting point for how big should this building be. And that's sort of where we are at in the process right now. We've just gotten that kind of first pass at understanding that, and we've begun to do the evaluation of some components of the existing building that we think that we could probably save to be able to save a few dollars to put towards other portions of the space.
Well, let's talk about that, because this is something that I know has been in the hopper. I've seen various architectural renderings of the campus, what it may look like with all new stuff or incorporating what already exists. There is some talk of keeping the athletic facility essentially as is, the pool and the gyms and that kind of stuff, improving the locker rooms and things like that, and keeping the auditorium, which is a beautiful piece of work anyway. And then keeping those two parts of the school, which are on completely separate ends of the campus, and then building everything else new, but keeping the athletic department and the auditorium pretty much as is. Is that something that is being seriously considered by the committee?
Yes, and Stephen and his team are working through some feasibility studies with that, and they're really looking at the foundations, the structures, the bones of the building, and I think they're coming up with some ideas of what we could hang on to and have some significant savings for our taxpayers and our community, and still have a brand new facility for students and student learning, and that would be at the forefront. But I'll let you answer that as well.
Yeah, so we've been through the building with our mechanical, electrical engineers. We have structural engineering on our team, and gone through those spaces and the original plans, and we haven't found any red flags that would say to us, no, we can't keep these. The buildings are in fantastic structural shape. Been all over the state and the region working on buildings, and there's not a crack anywhere in this brick in this building. Like, it has been maintained amazingly, and we think that there's no reason that we can't take the shell of those spaces, modernize them. They need to be, there's some remodeling that needs to be done to bring them up to certain current standards for teaching, current standards for some gymnasium, for lighting, for energy efficiency, all of those elements. But we can do that inside of those boxes because those large spaces, the dollar value to replace them is so high versus the value of what we have. And so refreshing the seats in the auditorium, doing new lighting, upgrading the finishes is really sort of pennies on the dollar versus what it would take to completely rebuild that space. And so as stewards of public dollars, we can't recommend tearing something like that down when there's still value there. And so we're currently trying to understand, okay, what does that mean? What are the impacts to the design process? As architects, a greenfield site's amazing. We could just go next door and design whatever is appropriate. That would certainly be easier than the challenge of knitting these structures together in a way that feels like a holistic piece
From
of work.
aesthetically and from actually somewhat of a sentimental standpoint, by having the athletic department as a standalone building, so you could have athletic events without having to open up the campus, and having the auditorium as a standalone building, again, same scenario, you could hold events without having people tromp through your hallways at the same time. It would also tie in the old high school to the new high school to give people that sort of, I did a play there in 1974, or I played basketball there in 1989, and it's still the same.
Yeah, that sense of nostalgia is very strong in our community. In fact, on our design advisory board, we have Maria, who comes to us as, I think she was an early graduate in the program, and she spent a lot of her time in that auditorium, and it's really meaningful for her. And so her idea is, if we still have this auditorium, that would be great. If we have something new, let's make sure it's as magnificent as the previous version.
It's one of the biggest auditoriums, a high school auditorium you'll see anywhere, and I hate to see it go.
Absolutely.
Personal thing, too. I was talking to my sister, well, I'm not going to mention her name. I told BJ I would not mention her name on the show. And she was very impressed. We had dinner a couple nights ago. She was very impressed with what the students have brought into the whole process here, because it didn't occur to me that they should have input. If there's going to be a new high schools, why shouldn't the kids have an input? They're the ones who have to tromp through the hallways every day, and she told me she was very impressed with what some of the students have brought to the table. And talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Our overall design approach is to never design a building for a community, but with the community, and the students are a huge part of that community, and understanding their needs are different than when I went to high school or you.
Yes.
And they have insights that are really unique. And I think one of the most compelling things to me is working with them, how the students are advocating for one another. They see their peers in other sports programs or programs, and they're doing after school work in the hallways or in the commons or in spaces that aren't supportive of the group, whether it's cheer or ROTC or any of those specific programs. And they're going, hey, you need this, and I think I could be adaptable in our space. We could have less of this if you get more. They're really amazing advocates for each other. And so understanding those needs, and those are sort of the things that make high school unique and special for students, is some of those extracurricular activities and the other programs that get delivered in and around the building. What we've seen is the building is never dark. This place is running from 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night every day with different activities, the community and students, and they recognize that. And so I think just hearing their insights, understanding they're very good at identifying the challenges of the existing building. Like it's difficult to even make it to a bathroom on a passing period. and in addition to all those other spatial needs. And so I think that's the thing that stands out to me the most, is that they're able to really articulate what those challenges are. And by giving us those are the sort of core fundamental baseline for us, is like, okay, we fix those problems with the new building regardless. And then we're starting to work with them. How do you dream? What is it about the future? What might be different for you? Or trying to get the students to think a little bit further ahead, like envision your own kids someday. What might be different 25 years from now? Because this building that we construct has to last another 50 years at least. And so that's our responsibility to the kids.
In this day and age, what's the challenge from an architectural standpoint to design a high school campus, a modern high school campus that is welcoming and brings in educational opportunities for everybody, because everybody deserves it, without making it feel like the kids are coming into a prison? Because what's going on now is it's one entry, one entry, fobs, security, buzzers, and stuff like that. How do you make that from an architectural standpoint, that the kids understand they're going into a safe environment, but it doesn't feel like they're going into a penitentiary?
Yeah, it's actually really a challenge, because we see in the world today everything that happens. We see on the news all the really bad things that happens, and that's sort of where people come from emotionally, is we want to protect our kids, right? And so challenge as designers is to make the systems and the spaces that protect kids feel seamless, because you hit it right on the head. Being welcomed is different than walking through a Sally Port, right? We don't want kids to feel like they are locked in a space. And so we use a variety of techniques to provide safety and security in a way that gives really two kind of key things. Anything that bad happens, you need time and you need distance to address that. And there are, great folks in this building that are monitoring what's going on. We've got cameras, we've got security, and those folks need time to react to anything. And so our biggest goal is to create separation that provides security from that standpoint. And on the flip side, the biggest thing that we can do to prevent security issues is community, to build community. And you build that through transparency and openness and understanding that it's not all about barriers. It's actually about being more open, so that students are able to find their community. They're being able to be seen and understood from their peers and from the staff that support them. So there's we have to sort of hold those two things in superposition. We have to create enough barriers to create that time and distance to provide security, and enough openness that it doesn't feel enclosed. And there's no one right answer for Wenatchee, but we're learning about your culture and who you guys are here and how you want to work. And that's our starting point for where we design those.
Well, the culture is the teachers are good, and the counselors are good, and the administration is good, and the kids are pretty good. I mean, I got a great education. You gave me a diploma anyway. Well, you didn't anyway. Open house is the next open house. There was one a couple of days ago, Sunday, April 26th from 2 to 4.
Yep.
What's the timeline after that? Walk me through April 26th through November 3rd as best you can, Kory.
Oh wow, that's a big one. Well, we have a lot of amazing milestones. So open house on the 26th. We're excited to have everybody here, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Come one, come all. We have students that are leading the tours. It's very exciting. We also have our design advocacy, our design advisory committee is still going. So we have our third meeting is tonight. We'll have 3 more of those meetings. We're meeting with the students here in a few minutes. Those will continue to go as well, and we'll continue to have as much feedback as we can get from the community. We will have a discussion on the resolution for the board on June 10th. And then we will have an action from the board on June 23rd to go out for a bond in November. And then when we'll have some quiet time in July where we'll create some materials and some messaging from the school district. And then starting opening day, which is the day that we bring back our staff of the Wenatchee School District, August 18th, I believe that day is, we'll start the heavy campaigning, and that will move forward all the way to November 3rd. And we'll have a variety of presentations. We'll have more open houses. We'll invite people to come here, but more importantly, we're going to come and meet the community where they are, and continue to help support the work that's necessary. And what we really want is we want the community to get the information that they need to make an informed decision when it comes time to voting.
Last question is for you. From a professional standpoint, it must be a lot funner and a lot more of a challenge for you to say, instead of a school district saying, come fix what's broken, as opposed to you get a blank slate. There's 15 acres. show us something. It must be much more enjoyable for you to get a blank slate instead of saying, you see this building, fix it. Yeah. From your standpoint.
Well, we enjoy as designers a challenge regardless of how it comes to us. Yeah. Like there's the beauty of starting fresh, but there's also the other side of the strong sort of it's the right word, but our from a sustainability standpoint, making use of what we have is a much stronger way to go. And we can't keep everything. There are pieces and parts that don't work, and that's our job, is to kind of find that fine line between what's right and what can we do. So we are excited about the challenge of making use of some of the fantastic spaces we already have, and then making some beautiful new architecture to go along with it. So
parents of the of students, well, who cares? All of the people who are going to be voting who live within the Wenatchee School District on November 3rd, I'm just going to ask you this. Do you want your kids, whether you have them or not, do you want the kids who go through the Wenatchee School District come up here to Wenatchee High School that's going to be 60 years old, or do you want them to go to a brand new high school where they're going to get a darn good education? They're going to get a great education either way, but come on, it's time. There, see, I said it. I'm voting yes. You should too. When do we get together again, Kory? Sometime soon?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let me know.
I think we'll definitely do what we do every year during our kickoff time, and we'll give you an update on where we are with the bond and what the board said in June, and get people excited.
Vote yes. This concludes this interview. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
There we go. Am I back? Oh, here I am. Hi. Malcolm pushed the wrong button, but we love him anyway. Got to do the live read here for Pool Spa Services. Upgrade relaxation with a Bullfrog Spa. Jeremiah was a spa. Exclusive jetpack therapy system. Pool Spa Services in Wenatchee. Design a spa that's built for you. And I helped him drink his wine. Now we got to pay royalties. We've already set a record for rainfall for April 22nd. We did that before the show even began. It started raining about 1:30 this morning. It hasn't stopped raining yet. But that's going to eventually taper off. It's already starting to lighten up a little bit. It's going to be replaced by some pretty gusty winds as this front rolls into our area. It is coming from the north to the south, thus the wind direction, as you can see there. So we still have a wind advisory till 11 o'clock tonight. The wind today will peak right around 7 or so tonight. Then it'll gradually die down as the evening wears on. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we are now over the 14-hour mark of daylight. This morning's sunrise was at 5:59, sunset tonight, 8 o'clock, right on the dot. Clouds and rain this morning, sunshine and wind this afternoon, 63. For our afternoon high, 42 for the overnight low. Little breezy on Thursday, not nearly as bad as today. High of about 63, a little bit below normal. A little bit below normal on Friday, 61. Of course, tomorrow begins the 107th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Technoplex Youth Parade Saturday, looking good. Parade starts at 11. By the end of the day, we'll top off at about 63. Pepsi-Cola Youth Day is on Sunday, 63 there. Nice weather for our big party, and everyone is invited, and you're invited to join us tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.